Captain Jun Han sat in his chair on the bridge of the Pathfinder. He was tired. The small scout ship had been in space for 3 months now. Their job was simple: map the edge of our solar system. Boring work, but needed. Another day. Another rock, Jun said to himself. He looked at the main screen showing the endless black of space. The Pathfinder was not big. Only 7 people worked on it. They were far from Earth now, near the edge of what scientists called the Oort cloud. This area had many small icy objects that orbited the sun from very far away. Lieutenant Su Kim watched her screen at the sensor station. Her eyes grew wide. "Captain," she called out, "I'm picking up something strange." Jun turned his chair toward her. "What is it?" "Energy reading. Nothing like I've seen before." Sue's fingers moved quickly across her panel. "It's not natural, and it's not one of ours." Engineer Tae Jun looked up from his station. "Could be a sensor problem. We're pretty far out." "Running diagnosis now," Sue said. She shook her head. "Sensors are working fine. This is real, Captain." Jun stood up and walked to her station. He looked at the readings himself. His heart beat faster. If this was what he thought it was. "How far?" he asked. "About 50,000 kilometers from our position," Sue answered. "The signal is weak. Whatever it is, it's not doing well." Jun thought for a moment. Their orders were clear. If they found anything unusual, they should report back to Earth and wait for instructions. That was the safe choice. But they were 3 weeks from Earth by communication. By then, whatever was out there might be gone. "Plot a course," Jun said. "Let's take a closer look." Chief Medical Officer Min Park looked up from her station. "Captain, protocol says—" "I know what protocol says," Jun cut in. "But we're explorers. This is why we're out here." He looked around at his small crew. "If anyone strongly disagrees, speak now." No one said anything. Setting course, I said Pilot Juan Lee from the front of the bridge. His hands moved across the controls. ETA 20 minutes. As they got closer, the ship's sensors gave them more information. The object was about twice the size of their own ship. It was moving slowly and seemed to be damaged. "It's a ship," Sue said, unable to hide the excitement in her voice. "Definitely not human-made." The bridge grew quiet. Everyone knew what this meant. For all of human history, people had looked at the stars and wondered if we were alone. Now, the 7 crew members of this small scout ship were about to answer that question. "Put it on screen," Jun ordered. The main screen showed a vessel unlike anything they had seen before. It had a smooth, curved shape that reminded Jun of a water drop. There were no visible engines or windows. Parts of its hull were damaged, with dark marks that looked like burn patterns. "It's drifting," Juan said. "No sign of controlled movement." "Any signals?" Jun asked. Communications Officer Ji-Yun shook her head. "Nothing, Captain. If they're talking, they're not using any frequencies we can pick up." Jun made his decision. "Juan, bring us alongside. Match their drift." He turned to Security Officer Dai Kim. "Prepare for possible boarding. Take Engineer Tae with you." "Are you sure about this, Captain?" Min asked quietly. "We're not equipped for first contact." Jun looked at her. "No one ever is, Doctor. But someone has to be first." He straightened his uniform. "Besides, they might need help." The Pathfinder moved closer to the alien ship. They could now see that the damage was worse than they first thought. Something had hit the strange vessel hard. "I'm detecting an atmosphere inside," Sue reported. "Ooh, it's not Earth normal, but our suits can handle it." "Life signs?" Jun asked. Sue worked her controls. 3 faint signatures. "They're alive, but barely." Jun nodded. "Doctor, you're with me, Day, and Tae. G, you have the bridge. Keep the engines hot in case we need to leave quickly." The 4 crew members put on their spacesuits and went to the airlock. As the outer door opened, they could see the alien ship just meters away. Up close, its surface had a metal-like shine but seemed to flow like liquid. "There," Tae pointed. "I think that's an entrance." A dark line ran across part of the ship's hull. As they watched, the line widened, becoming an opening. "They're inviting us in," Day said, his hand moving to the weapon at his hip. Or it's automated, Tay added. June pushed off from the Pathfinder. Only one way to find out. The 4 humans floated across the gap between the ships. They passed through the opening and into a chamber that seemed to sense their presence. The outer door closed behind them, and air filled the room. Atmosphere is stable, Min said, checking her suit readings. It's safe to breathe, but I recommend keeping helmets on for now. The inner door opened, revealing a corridor lit by a soft blue glow that seemed to come from the walls themselves. The crew moved, forward cautiously. The ship's design was strange to human eyes. There were no sharp corners anywhere. Everything curved and flowed. They followed the corridor until it opened into a larger room. 3 beings lay on raised platforms. They didn't look like anything from Earth. Their bodies were thin and tall with skin that glowed faintly. Each had 4 arms and 2 legs. Their heads had no hair, and their faces had large black eyes that took up most of the space. Where a human would have a nose, they had only small slits. Min rushed forward with her medical scanner. "They're dying," she said. "I don't know enough about their biology to help them." One of the aliens turned its head toward the humans. It raised a hand weakly. "It wants something," June said, moving closer. The alien pressed its hand against June's helmet. Suddenly, June felt a strange sensation in his head, like a whisper but with no sound. "You came. We hoped someone would find us." June stumbled back. "It spoke to me, in my mind. We are the last of our ship. The Council sent us to watch your world. We were attacked. The Vorn hunt us all." "What are the Vorn?" June asked out loud. "Death. They bring only death. They will come for your world next. You are not ready." The alien's other hand moved to a panel beside its platform. The wall beside them changed, becoming a screen filled with images and symbols. "Take this. All we know. All you will need." Tay stepped forward with a data device. "I think it wants to give us information." The alien's eyes fixed on June. "Your kind is young, but perhaps different." The Council was wrong to wait. "Save your strength," Min said, still trying to understand the alien's biology with her scanner. "We can get you to our ship. Too late for us, not too late for you. The Vorn believe your kind too primitive to fight back. Show them how wrong they are." The alien pressed something, and the data began flowing into Tay's device. 17 races, 10,000 years of knowledge. Use it better than we did. The alien's glow began to fade. "You were not meant to find us now, but perhaps this is the universe correcting a mistake." Its hand fell away from June's helmet. The glow faded completely from its skin. "It's gone," Min said quietly. "They're all gone." Tay looked at the device in his hands. "Captain, the amount of data they transferred, it's massive. We don't have words for how much information this is." June looked at the 3 still forms of the aliens. Just minutes ago, they were the answer to humanity's oldest question. Now they were the bearers of a warning. "We need to get back to Earth," he said. "Right now." As they returned to the Pathfinder, June looked back at the alien ship one last time. His small scout ship had left Earth looking for rocks and ice. It would return with a message that would change humanity forever. The universe had just become a much bigger and more dangerous place. The Pathfinder raced back to Earth as fast as its engines could manage. Captain June Han had not slept well since they left the alien ship. The data they carried weighed on him. Earth needed to know what was coming. "How much longer?" June asked, looking at pilot Juan. 2 more days, Captain," Juan answered. "We're pushing the engines hard." Engineer Taejun had been working non-stop trying to understand the alien data. "Captain, I've only scratched the surface of what they gave us, but it's amazing." "What have you found?" June asked. "Maps," Tay said. "Star maps showing thousands of systems. Many have notes about who lives there." He looked up with wide eyes. "Captain, there are 17 different alien races out there, working together in something called the Galactic Council. And they've been watching us," Lieutenant Su Kim added. Some of these files are reports about Earth. They've been studying us for hundreds of years. June frowned. Why watch but never contact us? They have rules, Tay explained. They rate species by technology level and maturity. According to their system, we're not ready yet. Not ready? June shook his head. They don't know humans very well. 2 days later, the Pathfinder arrived at Earth. They were met by a fleet of ships that escorted them to the main space station. As soon as they docked, they were taken to a secure room where the highest military and science leaders waited. "This better be good," said General Kang, a stern man with gray hair. "You broke protocol by changing your mission." June stood tall. "Sir, we made first contact with an alien species." The room went silent. "Where are these aliens?" asked Dr. Jin. "Park, the head of Earth's science division." "Dead, ma'am," June answered. "Their ship was attacked, but before they died, they gave us information." He nodded to Tay, who connected the data device to the room's main screen. Images filled the wall. Star maps, ship designs, weapons, and strange symbols. "This is only a fraction of what we have," June said. "But the most important part is this. Earth is in danger. There's a race called the Vorn that attacks developing worlds. The aliens we met were part of something called the Galactic Council. The Vorn attacked them, and according to what they told us, Earth is next." General Kang's face hardened. "How much time do we have?" "Based on the data," Tay said, "the Vorn fleet will reach our system in 6 months." The room erupted in voices. Dr. Jin raised her hand for quiet. "Captain Han," she said, "may I see all the data you brought back?" "Of course, Doctor," June replied. "But there's something else you should know. The Council has been deliberately holding back technological progress for all species. They control who gets what technology based on their rating system." "And where do humans rank?" General Kang asked. "We don't," Sue answered. "We're not even on their scale yet." Dr. Jin spent the next week studying the alien data with her team. When she called for a meeting with the United Earth Defense Council, her eyes shone with excitement despite not having slept much. "What these aliens gave us," she began, "is nothing short of revolutionary. They provided technical specifications for faster-than-light travel, energy weapons, shield technology, and much more. Technologies that would have taken us centuries to develop on our own. Can we build these things in time?" asked the council president. "That's the interesting part," Dr. Jin said. "The designs are inefficient. They work, but they're not optimized. It's as if they're deliberately designed to be slow to develop." "What do you mean?" General Kang asked. "The council races have been using the same designs for thousands of years. They don't innovate much. They follow patterns set long ago." Dr. Jin moved to the screen and pulled up a schematic. "This is their standard engine design for scout ships, and this," she swiped to a new image, "is what our engineers came up with after just 3 days of studying it." The two designs looked similar, but the human version had clear differences. "Our version would be 30% more efficient," Dr. Jin explained. "They've been deliberately keeping technology limited, controlled, safe, by their standards." "Why would they give us this information?" asked a council member. Captain June, who had been sitting quietly, spoke up. "They were dying. They knew their ship had been found by a species they considered primitive. I think they believed we would all be dead soon anyway, so it didn't matter what they shared." Dr. Jin nodded. "The data includes the locations of all 17 council homeworlds and their colonies. That's not information they would normally share with a new species." "So what are we going to do with all this?" the president asked. Dr. Jin smiled. "We're going to do what humans do best. We're going to take their ideas and make them better." The next 3 months were the busiest in human history. The alien data was shared with scientists and engineers around the world. Factories ran day and night. The first human FTL engine was tested just 6 weeks after they received the data. "Captain, June was called to a new facility built in orbit around Earth. General Kang met him at the dock. "We have something to show you, Captain," the general said. They took a shuttle away from the station. As they cleared the dock, June saw it. A massive ship, unlike anything humans had built before. It was sleek and powerful, with clear human design touches that made it different from the alien ships he had seen in the data. "The Defiance," General Kang said proudly. "The first of our new fleet, 20 more like her almost ready." "How?" June asked in amazement. "It should have taken years to build something like this." "Turns out when you tell humans they have 6 months to live, they work faster." The general turned to him. "The aliens thought we weren't ready. They've been watching us but didn't understand us. We don't follow their patterns, we adapt, we improvise, we overcome." The shuttle circled the massive ship. Workers in spacesuits moved around it, making final adjustments. "What the council races don't understand," the general continued, "is that limitations just make humans more creative. Their technology has barely changed in 1,000 years because they accept the limits they're given. We never have." The shuttle docked with the Defiance. Inside, the ship was a hive of activity. Crew members trained at stations that merged human design with alien technology. Everything was built for efficiency and function, not the flowing aesthetic of the alien ship. "We've been monitoring deep space," General Kang said as they walked through the ship. "The Vorn fleet is coming, just as your aliens predicted. But they're expecting to find a primitive world with simple defenses. What they'll find instead is humanity at its best." They reached the bridge. General Kang stopped and turned to June. "Captain Han, your discovery changed everything. Your decision to investigate that ship may have saved our species." He held out a small box. Inside was a new insignia. "The Defiance needs a captain, someone who's already faced the unknown and made the right call." June stared at the insignia. "Sir, I'm just a scout ship captain." "Not anymore." General Kang placed the insignia on June's uniform. "The Pathfinder found us a new path. Now we need someone to lead us down it." As June took command of the bridge, he saw a familiar face. Lieutenant Su Kim stood at the sensor station, smiling at him. "Ready for another adventure, Captain?" she asked. June looked at the view screen showing Earth below them. In just 3 months, humanity had advanced centuries. Not because they were given new technology, but because they were finally allowed to see what was possible. "The Vorn think they're coming to find easy prey," June said. "They have no idea what they're about to face." The human fleet was nearly ready, and when the Vorn arrived, they would learn a lesson the Galactic Council had never understood. Humans don't just use technology, they improve it, they reimagine it, and when threatened, they turn it into something their enemies never expected. The universe was about to change again. The human fleet grew quickly. Under the leadership of Engineer Du Li, Earth's best minds worked day and night to improve the alien designs. Du had been chosen to lead the technology team because of his unique way of thinking. He didn't just copy the alien tech, he reimagined it. "The Council builds things that work well within set rules," Du explained to a room full of engineers. "But humans have always been good at breaking rules." He pointed to the screen showing an alien engine design. "Their ships are efficient, but they're predictable. They follow the same patterns they've used for thousands of years." He swiped to a new image. "Our ships won't." The human ships were smaller than the Council designs, but packed more power. They could change direction faster and had weapons placed in ways the aliens never considered. Most importantly, they could work together in new ways. "The Vorn expect us to be primitive," Du said. "And by Council standards, we are. But that's our advantage. We don't think like they do." Captain June Han stood on the bridge of the Defiance as the ship prepared for its first real test. They had spent weeks training, learning how to use the new technology. Now it was time to see if it would work in battle. "All stations report ready, Captain," Lieutenant Su Kim said from her position. As second in command, June nodded. "Tell the fleet to form up. It's time to meet our visitors." The Vorn had entered the solar system 3 days ago. Their fleet of 30 ships moved slowly, clearly not expecting any real resistance. They had done this many times before. Find a developing world, overwhelm it quickly, and take what they wanted. What they didn't expect was to find 25 human warships waiting for them near the orbit of Mars. "They've spotted us," Sue reported. They're changing formation. Put me through to all ships, June ordered. When the communication line opened, he took a deep breath. This is Captain Han. We've trained for this moment. The Vorn think they know what to expect from us. They think we're primitive and easy to defeat. Today we show them how wrong they are. He paused. Remember, we're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting to show the entire galaxy that humanity has arrived. Engage as planned. The human fleet split into 5 groups and approached the Vorn from different angles. This was not a tactic the Council races would use. They always maintained a unified formation. The Vorn ships hesitated, confused by the strange approach. They're trying to figure out what we're doing, June said with a small smile. Good. Keep them guessing. The Defiance led the main group straight toward the center of the Vorn fleet. As they closed in, the Vorn finally reacted, firing energy weapons at the approaching ships. Shields holding, reported the tactical officer. Their weapons are strong, but slower than we expected. Fire when ready, June ordered. The human ships opened fire. Their weapons were modified from the Council designs, less elegant but more powerful. The Vorn shields flared under the impact. 2 Vorn ships damaged, Sue reported. They're regrouping. The battle in space looked nothing like the orderly engagements the galaxy had known for thousands of years. Human ships moved in unpredictable patterns, sometimes seeming to retreat only to suddenly turn and attack from a new angle. They used the gravity of Mars to slingshot around and hit the Vorn from behind. 3 hours into the battle, the Vorn had lost 8 ships. The humans had lost 3. They're pulling back, Sue said. Looks like they're shocked by the resistance. Don't let them regroup, June ordered. All ships, press the attack. The human fleet surged forward. The Vorn, facing a type of warfare they had never encountered, fell into disarray. Their ships began to retreat, moving back toward the outer system. They're running, someone on the bridge said with disbelief. Not all of them, June noted. Look, one large Vorn ship was moving more slowly than the others. It had taken heavy damage. Target that ship, June ordered. Capture if possible. The Defiance and 2 other ships surrounded the damaged Vorn vessel. They fired precise shots at its engines, disabling it without destroying it. They've stopped moving, Sue reported. No power readings. Prepare a boarding team, June said. Let's see what we can learn. June led the boarding party himself, along with Sue and a team of soldiers. They wore the new spacesuits designed with the help of alien technology. These suits were stronger and more flexible than anything humans had made before. They entered the Vorn ship through a breach in its hull. Inside, they found corridors lined with dark metal. The design was more angular than the Council ship they had found, with sharp edges everywhere. Stay alert, June warned. We don't know what they look like or how they'll react. They moved deeper, into the ship. Most of the Vorn had abandoned the vessel, but in what appeared to be the control room they found one survivor. The Vorn was tall and covered in tough, plate-like skin. It had 4 eyes set in a diamond pattern and arms that split into 3 finger-like appendages. The creature backed away as the humans entered. It made a series of clicking sounds. Our translators aren't working on their language yet, Sue said. The Vorn suddenly lunged forward, trying to activate a control panel. One of the soldiers fired, hitting it in the arm. The creature fell back, making a high-pitched sound. Secure it, June ordered, and download everything from their computers. While the team worked, June explored more of the ship. In one room, he found something disturbing. Containers holding what looked like biological samples from different species. Some were labeled with symbols that matched those of Council races. They're collectors, Sue said when he showed her. They don't just conquer, they study other species, like specimens. After gathering all the data they could, the team returned to the Defiance with their Vorn prisoner. The alien was placed in a secure medical bay where doctors could study it while keeping it contained. The data from the Vorn ship was even more valuable than they had hoped. It contained navigation charts showing the location of the Vorn homeworld and all their colonies. It also revealed something shocking. The Vorn had been systematically hunting non-Council races for centuries, taking resources and biological samples. The Council knew. Sue said as they reviewed the information. They knew the Vorn were attacking developing worlds, but they didn't intervene. They have their rules, June said bitterly. Don't interfere with developing species, even if those species are being wiped out. In the days that followed, the human fleet tracked the retreating Vorn ships. They watched as the aliens sent signals toward their home territory, clearly calling for reinforcements. General Kang called a meeting with all fleet captains. We've won the first battle, he said, but the war is just beginning. The Vorn will be back and they'll be ready for us next time. Then we shouldn't wait, June suggested. We have their navigation data. We know where they're coming from. Are you suggesting we attack them? Another captain asked. In their own territory? That's exactly what I'm suggesting, June replied. The Council has never launched a preemptive strike in their 10,000-year history. The Vorn won't expect. The room fell silent as everyone considered the idea. It was bold, maybe too bold. General Kang finally spoke. The Council would call this reckless. They'd say we're proving why we're not ready to join them. He smiled slightly. But that's why we'll win. We don't play by their rules. The decision was made. The human fleet would not wait for the next Vorn attack. They would take the fight to the enemy. As June returned to the Defiance, he looked at the stars on the view screen. 3 months ago, he had been mapping rocks at the edge of the solar system. Now he was preparing to lead humans into other star systems for the first time. The universe has no idea what's coming, he said quietly. Humanity was going to war. The human fleet grew to 30 large ships and over 100 smaller vessels. Every day, more ships joined as Earth's factories worked at full speed. The ships were named after ideas that humans had always valued: courage, freedom, hope, justice, and others. Captain Jun Han's Defiance led them all. Using the data from the captured Vorn ship, they planned their route. The journey would take 3 weeks using the new faster-than-light drives. Each day, Engineer Du Li and his team made small improvements to the engines. The Council races would take years to approve a change like this, Du told June as they checked the new drive systems. They test everything hundreds of times before using it. We don't have that luxury, June replied. We either adapt fast or we die. That's why we'll win, Du said with a smile. We change, we improve, we take risks. Before the fleet left, Lieutenant Su Kim approached June with an idea. We should try to contact other worlds that the Vorn have attacked, she suggested. According to the data we found, there are at least 12 planets under Vorn control. The IE people there might help us if we free them. June brought the idea to General Kang, who agreed it was worth trying. They added a new mission to their plan: liberation. The day the fleet departed Earth was historic. Millions watched as the ships rose from orbital docks and gathered in space. June stood on the bridge of the Defiance and looked at the view screen, showing Earth growing smaller behind them. This is the moment everything changes, he said quietly. Not just for us, but for the whole galaxy. Setting course for the Vorn frontier, the navigator announced. Ready to jump on your order, Captain. June took a deep breath. Take us out. The human ships disappeared into faster-than-light travel, leaving their home system for the first time. The journey through FTL space was strange and beautiful. The view screen showed swirling colors as the ships moved faster than light itself. The crew worked in shifts, preparing for what they would face when they arrived. They dropped out of FTL near a small star system at the edge of Vorn territory. According to their data, this system had a planet called Nalus IV. It had been conquered by the Vorn 5 years ago, and its people were being used as slave labor. No Vorn ships detected, Sue reported as they entered the system. They must not expect anyone to come here. Scan the 4th planet, June ordered. The scans showed a world similar to Earth but with more water. There were several large settlements near the equator, and energy readings indicated mining operations. Life signs? June asked. About 50,000 in the largest settlement, Sue answered. And 200 Vorn, mostly around the mines. June made his decision. We'll send down 3 teams. I'll lead the main force to free the settlement. Sue, you take a team to the communication center. We need to control their ability to call for help. The third team will secure the mines. The human ships moved into orbit around Nalus 4. The Vorn had only 2 small ships guarding the planet, and they were quickly disabled. Then the landing crafts launched, carrying soldiers and equipment to the surface. June's team landed near the main settlement. The buildings were simple but neat, arranged in circles around a central area. As the humans approached, the local people hid in their homes. They looked somewhat like humans, but with blue-tinted skin and large, dark eyes. "We need to show them. We're not here to hurt them," June said. He removed his helmet and stepped forward, hands raised to show he had no weapons. One brave local emerged from a building. He was old, with white hair and deep lines on his face. He spoke in a language the humans couldn't understand. June pointed to himself. "Human," he said. Then he pointed to the sky. "We fight Vorn." The old man's eyes widened. He repeated, "Human?" Then he pointed to himself. "Nalusi." Suddenly, alarms sounded across the settlement. A group of Vorn appeared at the far end of the central area, weapons raised. They were larger than the one June had seen on the captured ship, with more armor covering their plate-like skin. "Take cover," June shouted as the Vorn opened fire. The human soldiers responded quickly, moving to protected positions and returning fire. Their weapons, based on council designs but improved by human engineers, cut through the Vorn armor. The battle was short but intense. When it ended, the Vorn lay defeated and not a single human had been killed. The Nalusi people emerged from their homes, staring in wonder at the humans who had done what they thought impossible, beaten the Vorn in direct combat. Sue's team reported similar success at the communications center. "We've secured all Vorn technology," she said over the radio. "And we found something interesting, records of all their conquest operations. They've been doing this for centuries, Captain. Always targeting worlds that show promise but aren't advanced enough to fight back." "Any mention of the Council?" June asked. "Yes," Sue replied. "The Council knows about the Vorn activities but classifies it as natural selection in action. They only protect species that reach a certain technology level." June felt anger rising in him. The Council had watched as worlds were conquered and people enslaved, all because of their rules about who deserved protection. Over the next few days, the humans helped the Nalusi people take back control of their world. The Nalusi had been a peaceful race before the Vorn came, focused on art and science rather than war. They were grateful for the human help and eager to learn about their rescuers. "Your people came from beyond the stars to help us?" The old man, who turned out to be a leader named Kel, asked through a translator the humans had built. "We came to fight the Vorn," June explained. "They attacked our world too." Kel looked surprised. "But you defeated them? How?" "The Vorn have taken many worlds. None has ever fought them off. Humans are good at fighting when we need to," June said. "And we're good at making new weapons and ships. The Skybringer said that new races must develop slowly," Kel said. "They watched us for many years but never helped us." "Skybringers?" June asked. "The ones who travel between stars but never interfere. They watched the Vorn take our world, but did nothing." June realized Kel was talking about the Council. "They watched us too," he told Kel. "They thought we weren't ready for their technology, but they were wrong." News of the human victory spread quickly using the Vorn's own communication system. On other conquered worlds, the local people began to rebel against their Vorn masters when they heard that someone had finally defeated them. The human fleet moved from planet to planet, freeing each one from Vorn control. They taught the local people how to defend themselves and left them with weapons and ships. As they approached the 6th world, something unexpected happened. A ship appeared near them, but it wasn't a Vorn design. It was sleek and curved like the one June had found months ago near Earth. "We're being hailed," Sue reported. It's the Galactic Council." June straightened his uniform. "Put them through." The view screen showed an alien similar to those they had found in the damaged ship. It looked at June with large black eyes. "This is Observer Talon of the Galactic Council," the alien said in perfect English. Your actions have violated Council protocol regarding developing species. Explain yourselves. June felt a surge of anger but kept his voice calm. We are defending ourselves and others against Vorn aggression, something your council has failed to do. The natural progression of species, the alien began. There's nothing natural about watching innocent people be enslaved when you could help them. June B. interrupted. We may be new to space, but we know right from wrong. The council ship followed the human fleet as they continued their mission. More council observers arrived, watching in surprise as humans, a species they had classified as primitive, systematically dismantled the Vorn power base. Word spread through the galaxy. The species that had been considered too young to join the galactic community had done what the Council never dared. They had taken direct action against a threat the Council had simply observed for centuries. The universe was changing, and humanity was leading that change. 6 months after leaving Earth, the human fleet had freed 12 worlds from Vorn control. The Vorn had pulled back to their home system, unable to understand how a primitive species had defeated them so quickly. But the biggest surprise came from the Galactic Council. As Captain Jun Han stood on the bridge of the Defiance, a message arrived from Earth. General Kang's face appeared on the screen. Captain, we have visitors, the general said. A council delegation has arrived at Earth. They want to talk. Jun raised his eyebrows. I thought we were too primitive for official contact. Apparently freeing 12 worlds and defeating a major threat changes things. General Kang replied with a small smile. They've requested your presence. You and your crew discovered them first. It's fitting that you represent us now. The Defiance set course for Earth. During the journey home, Lieutenant Su Kim worked with the communication team to study all the information they had about Council protocol. They have rules for everything, Su told June. The way you stand, where you look, how you speak, it's very formal. Do they expect us to follow all these rules? June asked. According to Observer Talon, yes, but... Su smiled. I don't think we should. Being different is our strength. When they arrived at Earth, the Defiance docked at the main space station. Through the viewports, June could see 3 council ships in orbit. They were large and elegant, but he noticed something. They all looked exactly the same. No variations, no improvements. Just copies of a design that had probably remained unchanged for centuries. June, Su, Engineer Du Li, and Dr. Jin Park formed the human delegation. They wore their standard uniforms rather than the formal attire the council had suggested. The meeting took place in a large room on the station. The council representatives entered first, 5 aliens from different species. They moved with careful, measured steps and took their places at the table. The lead representative was tall with pale blue skin and large eyes. I am High Observer Malin of the Galactic Council, he said. For 10,000 years we have maintained order in this sector of the galaxy. We have protocols for everything, including first contact. June stepped forward. I am Captain Jun Han of Earth. 6 months ago my ship found your damaged vessel. Since then, we've defeated the Vorn fleet that attacked our system and freed 12 worlds from Vorn control. Yes, Malin said. You have violated every protocol we have for new species integration. You took technology you were not ready for. You interfered with other developing worlds. You have disrupted the careful balance we have maintained. Dr. Jin spoke up. You mean the balance that allowed the Vorn to prey on developing worlds while you watched? Malin blinked slowly. Each species must develop at its natural pace. The strong survive. The weak... That's not balance, June interrupted. That's neglect. You had the power to help those worlds but chose not to. Our ways have kept peace for 10,000 years, another council member said. Who are you to question them after a few months in space? We're the ones who did what you wouldn't, Engineer Do answered. We saw injustice and acted to stop it. The council members looked at each other. This was not how first contact meetings usually went. New species were supposed to be awed by council wisdom and grateful for their attention. You have much to learn about galactic civilization, Malin said. We have come to offer Earth provisional status in the Council. You will be assigned observers, who will guide your development along approved paths. June looked at the human delegation. They hadn't expected this. The Council was trying to bring them under control, to make them follow the same rules that had held back progress for thousands of years. And if we refuse? June asked. Malin seemed confused by the question. No species has ever refused Council oversight. Then we'll be the first, General Kang said, joining the conversation. Earth thanks you for the offer, but we prefer to find our own path. That is not how things are done, Malin insisted. There are protocols. Your protocols allowed the Vorn to enslave innocent people, Sue cut in. Your protocols kept technology limited when it could have helped developing worlds defend themselves. Maybe it's time for new protocols. A younger council member leaned forward. Perhaps we should consider the humans' perspective. Their methods, while unorthodox, have been effective. The Vorn threat has troubled us for centuries, yet they dealt with it in months. Thank you, June said to the younger member. We don't want to reject the Council or its experience. We want to work together, but as equals, not as students who need guidance. The meeting continued for hours. The Council members were not used to being challenged, especially by a species they had classified as primitive just months ago. But slowly they began to listen. Dr. Jin presented data showing how human improvements to Council technology had made it 40% more efficient. Engineer Du demonstrated how combining human and Council designs created better ships than either could build alone. What you see as disorder, we see as innovation, June explained. What you call protocol, we sometimes see as limitation. But together, we could be more than either of us alone. 3 days of talks followed. The Council had never faced a situation like this before. A young species that had advanced so quickly and refused to follow the traditional path. But they couldn't deny the results. The Vorn threat neutralized, 12 worlds freed, and new technological advances that their own engineers found impressive. On the final day, Malin made an announcement. The Council has deliberated and reached a decision unprecedented in our history. Earth will be granted full Council membership, the first species to bypass the traditional advancement stages. The human delegation looked at each other in surprise. Furthermore, Malin continued, we will establish a new committee to review our protocols regarding technology sharing and intervention. Captain Han will co-chair this committee with Observer Talon. After the meeting, June stood by a viewport looking at Earth below. Sue joined him. How does it feel to change the way a 10,000-year-old organization thinks? She asked. I don't think we changed them completely, June replied, but we gave them a push in a new direction. The Council scientist I spoke with said they've already started studying our engine improvements, Sue said, and 3 Council worlds have requested human advisors to help upgrade their defense systems. June smiled. I guess we've made an impression. A week later, as the formal agreements were being signed, one of the Council members approached June. It was the younger one who had spoken up during the first meeting. When your scout ship found our damaged vessel, we thought it was bad luck, the alien said. We now believe it may have been the most fortunate moment in recent galactic history. How so? June asked. The Council has existed for 10 millennia, but we had stopped growing, stopped changing, the alien explained. We were so focused on maintaining what we had that we forgot why we built it in the first place, to help all species thrive. June looked at the delegates from Earth and the Council working together, already planning joint projects. That's the thing about humans, June said with a smile. We tend to shake things up wherever we go. The alien made a sound that June realized was laughter. Indeed you do, Captain Han. Indeed you do. As June prepared to return to the Defiance for its next mission, he thought about how much had changed in just 9 months. A routine scouting mission had led to first contact, a war, and now a new place for humanity in the galaxy. The universe had indeed changed forever, not because humanity had access to advanced technology, but because they used it in ways no other species had imagined. Their greatest strength wasn't their adaptability or their tenacity, though those helped. It was their fundamental belief that the impossible is just something no one has done yet. And now, with the stars open before them, humanity was ready to show the galaxy just how many impossible things they could do. The end.